Hello, my name is Mr Linnell and I'm one of the politics teachers here at TAFE and Sixth Form. This is a little brief introduction to the course that you've selected and to give you an idea of things you could be working on ready for September. Again, one of the wonderful things about politics is it's one of the fastest growing subjects, and as you can see over recent years the numbers taken A-level and taken at degree level have increased dramatically. So politics is very much alive and very much a current topic, and hopefully that will be something that you all gain from it. And we hope that maybe some of you will consider continuing in your political studies beyond sixth form. At A-level, of course, we've also seen a big growth, and that's reflected inside Tatham High School as well as elsewhere. And the reason why for that is it is really a subject you can link to almost anything else. It goes really well with other subjects, and what we study over the 2 years are 3 different units. I teach in the Year 12 year the UK politics, which is all about people and politics really, so elections, political parties, also about some of the controversies about electoral reform, the role of the media. We look at case studies of various historic and current general elections. So it's a really, really interesting sort of topic about participation and why people are either not interested in politics or are, and how they're affected by it. Mr Matthews is taking the second unit for half-year lessons, and that's on UK government, and that's much more systematic about how the actual systems work. So it looks at things like the Constitution and how that evolved and its problems and its advantages. It also looks at other aspects of Parliament, the role of the Prime Minister, the role of the judiciary. So a whole lot of issues there. And then towards the end of the year, both myself and Mr Matthews are teaching some core ideologies. So this is where the real theory comes in. I focus in on liberalism in the Year 12, and he'll be looking at feminism. And then into Year 13, I'll continue to look at conservatism and socialism. And then both Mr Matthews and I in Year 13 will be teaching a range of the global politics modules. Again, these cover a vast thing from human rights, the environment, the recent history about bipolarity, even things like how the world deals with things like COVID-19. So it's a real current and evolving subject. So really, really useful. And looking at institutions from the UN to NATO to the World Health Organization. All 3 papers are worth the same, and they're all worth fully examined in 2 hours. There's no coursework element to the politics A level. And again, there's a bit more of a breakdown there of the units that we'll be teaching. And again, I would strongly recommend you have a separate folder for your two teachers, and you keep your work in order, and that way it's really, really clear, and you're seeing which exam you need the right materials for. Another thing about A-level is, although you might be taught things separately, they all link together. We call this synoptic learning, and making connections between the different units, so between ideologies and the way global powers work, and some of the decisions, maybe Brexit, for example, in the UK. If you can link all those things together, you can get extra marks. So that is again really high-level skill. And you will need to bring some things along if you take the politics course. We have one major textbook that we use. It's a bit of a beast, but it does cover both years, and it's the core Edexcel textbook. And I strongly recommend you get your own copy of this, because then you can mark the pages, you can highlight, you may annotate the pages as well. Again, it's really worth it, and the most expensive initial outlays cost. If you're entitled to the bursary, we can certainly buy this for you, but I would say it's really the key thing we tend to go to and use in class. But there are lots and lots of other resources in our sixth form library. Again, the revision guides, for example, this one. And again, I would recommend that maybe these might be some things you want to look at as you progress through the course. You will need to buy folders for your course, and again, like I said, you need at least 2 for politics for each year. I would try and separate out those units, and of course file paper and your own stationery and things. But otherwise, everything else, handouts, articles and stuff will be provided for you by the teachers. And there's lots more you could be doing, of course, and in our induction guide, we put a number of extra things you could do. One thing I think is really great about politics is you can find out so many of the examples you're going to use in your answers from being up to date with political debates, whether that's watching things like Question Time or attending a lecture. And there are lots of lectures at the UEA just on our doorstep. And again, in normal times, there are lots of other things you can get involved in about politics. We, of course, had an election in school amongst the sixth formers last year for the general election. So there's lots of ways you can get examples and find out about things, as well as doing rider reading in a more traditional sense. And there was also a number of tasks that we'd expect you to do. So back in Easter, we set you the summer induction tasks, and again, there are 4 compulsory tasks there which you need to bring with you in September. So they're what we really want from you. But we're also setting you a additional set of optional tasks, again, up to date with some up-to-date examples, and again, hopefully that will again give you some extra things to do. Again, there's a better selection of tasks there as well. So again, that was all again good examples of sort of wider reading. So I hope that gives a very, very brief introduction to the politics course. It's a great subject. I hope the students enjoy it as much as I do teaching it, and I really look forward to seeing you properly in the autumn, ready to start your studies. Thank you.